So let's go ahead and do our combined best 11. So it is the midway point in the season, and it is time for us to talk about who's been good, who has been bad. And so we're going to do what we did last year, which was make our combined best 11, which is we are combining League One and the championship. Now, with League One and the championship, we don't have a quota of we have to do half and we have to do League One, half championship. We're just taking the best players from both, and they're relatively weighted, right? So that's what we're here to do. This will get posted later, and we'll talk about all things we got wrong. What we have on the screen right now is just a bunch of placeholders. So I want to just go ahead and I want to throw out my lock, which is the head coaching spot, actually. Ryan Martin. I want to hear arguments for anybody else besides Ryan Martin, because when you consider how good Loudon are doing, on top of the fact of what they are going through in terms of ownership, I don't see anybody else doing the coaching job like he is.
I mean, you can throw a shout to Lee Wiedemann with Spokane, obviously, just because of the excellence and the way they are really taking a leap above the rest of League One. I personally like what Luke Spencer is doing in Tulsa quite a bit. I think that is subtly maybe the team that is overperforming expectations to the highest degree in the West. But yeah, I'm not going to give you any pushback with Ryan Martin, somebody I've been praising for years, doing an incredible job with Loudon, not only in terms of maintaining that consistent style, but building on it, improving this team, making do with a decent amount of injuries this year and that low budget. Yeah, nothing but impressive from him.
Yeah, I would go with Ryan Martin as well. The only other shout I would say that we've mentioned him in the past has been Scott McKenzie with what he's been doing with, within Chattanooga as being such a frustrating team to set up against. And also another team like Loudon that's had their own fair share of off the field issues as well. But Ryan Martin, basically Loudon, like we had picked them to be bottom two of the Eastern Conference this year. And John, I think I saw from your playoff odds that they're pretty much a virtual lock to get into the postseason now. So I'd be very happy with him as the selected head coach.
McKenzie's a great shout, by the way. I'd be more than happy to hear that conversation as well. But I think when you look at league standings, I think Loudon's probably Ryan Martin's probably the more correct answer. So I think for me, I'm going to just kind of throw out some people, and I want to start with my favorite position on the field, which is the goalkeeper. And I have just two names, and one of them is the same one that our good friend Eamon Zayed kind of put on Twitter. I'm proposing either Danny Vitiello or Carlos Valdez.
Vitiello did not enter on the register for me, so that's fascinating. I was kind of, in terms of championship picks, friend of the show, Hugo Farou, was kind of my guy, given the fact that he's so good with the ball at his feet, so good facing down pressure, and of course, he's bringing it in terms of the shot stopping. I think he's top 3 or 4 in saves right now. Nico Camposano from Monterrey as well. 52 saves to lead the championship. No one else is even above 38. Like, he's doing incredible work with a really great burden for Monterrey. But yeah, Mauricio Valdez in Spokane ultimately was my pick at this spot as well. Almost 5 XG prevented this year. He's got the second most pass completions in League One of any goalkeeper. Maybe less of the incision that you could get from Hugo Farou. But I think if you're looking for a goalkeeper who has done the most to elevate his team, Carlos Mauricio Valdez is my guy too.
Also giving at least another shout out to Matt Levy within the Charlotte Independence. And then I wanted to at least, talk about, Johan Peronada for Tulsa as well. Maybe that's a little bit more for Tulsa's really stellar defense right now in the league. They have the lowest number of goals allowed in the Western Conference at the moment. But I would kind of lean a lot towards Nico Camposano in the championship.
Yeah. Speaking of, I don't know, Camposano, obviously he was massively keeping Monterey Bay in things, but it's kind of since sort of regressed back to the means a little bit. Hugo Farou is a great shout, John, by the way. I love what he does on the ball, what he is able to do to pick out passes. I think he is also a very good shot stopper. For me, when I'm kind of looking into what the analytics may say, the one thing that I have also seen is that sometimes I feel like we're looking at stuff like handling, like how safe hands are they, like catching the ball versus parrying and all that kind of stuff. I feel like Vidiola was a little bit more clean with that, but also when you look at what Faru adds in terms of being a passer, being an outlet, I think it's great. But yeah, I think in the end, we're just going to go with Carlos Mauricio. Oh my gosh. Hernacio Valdez, if I could just say it, for our goalkeeping position. Any thoughts on that before we go on?
Yeah, we're in terms of field players, we're 1 for 1 with guys I slotted in, so I cannot complain.
I love that. John, I don't want to take from your back four article, but when we originally planned to do this last week, and I started prepping for this 2 weeks ago, there was a name that you mentioned that was an easy pick for me. I want you to talk about him just a little bit.
Well, where are we? Are we starting in the midfield?
He was a no-brainer for me, and I at least know that you're on my side, so I feel like we might as well get the easy conversation done first.
Are we talking about a midfielder for Phoenix Rising, perhaps?
We sure are.
Okay, Hope Avievu, who I think is a name that maybe has not broken out into the broader discourse of the USL, but subtly is doing incredible things for Rising this season. Like, for my money, he's been one of the best players in the league, bar none. He leads all midfielders in duel wins. He's really able to do damage from anywhere in the midfield. Often he's kind of starting as the left-sided number 8 in a 4-3-3 for Phoenix, but he's able to push ahead into the box quite often, and he's so clever about when he chooses to do so. He's got this ability in this low center of gravity where he can really create separation on the dribble. You pair that with the fact that he's basically become Pa Mudaka's go-to guy when they need a man mark in the midfield. There really isn't a facet of the game where Hope Avievu doesn't excel. This is obviously a crowded position if you look top to bottom, but what he has done as a number 10 really sets Avievu apart for my money.
9 goal contributions on the year as well, so that's a really apt choice for the midfield.
So we have that one. I want to look a little bit. Let's kind of go to some center back options now. Okay, there's been a lot of good center back play this year. A little bit of, I don't want to say regression along the way, but a lot of players who are just kind of floating around generally. John or Ryan, who are some players for you guys that have stood out in the center back department?
I would love to shout out Kyle Adams as the first guy that, frankly, I would vote for as Defender of the Year. When you consider Lou City, it's very easy to look at Arturo Ordonez and Sean Tosh and say, oh, those are the players with the All-League awards in the past. Maybe they're the biggest difference makers. Every time I watch this team play, it's Adams that's really standing out to me. He has this sense, like Tosh, of when he can push ahead and become a contributor offensively, but he's so steady at picking his moments, setting this baseline to either recycle the ball or to step up against opposing counterattacks. I think he's maybe second in the league in aerial wins, if I'm remembering correctly. He just feels so consistent. You never see Adams make a high leverage mistake that you will occasionally see from some of his teammates. And Louisville has an elite defense, obviously. Some of that comes down to the system and what Danny Cruz is doing. But for me, Adams is a player that's taken a huge leap and would be in my team.
I at least wanted to, just going back to that Tulsa shout, Lamar Batista was at least one player I wanted to highlight at center back for that same Tulsa team, 70 clearances on the year. He's just been a really fantastic part of this Tulsa back line, and part of the reason why they've now moved into an under 2.5 goals is an easy bet selection for me on most weekends. So he would be one of my recommendations at center back.
Batista was on, I have 3 championship CBs here, and Batista was on my list as well. Great shout.
Yeah, so that's two. So I'm gonna go ahead right in Batista. I like the Kyle Adams shout. I do. I think that you could look at a lot of or sorry, Batista. Did I say Batista anyway? I like the Kyle Adams shout as well. I think what I'm also wanting to look at, I think that for me in the back line, I want to find also someone from I'm trying to think now because like One Knox is a team that has been standing on their head all year long, and you pick your favorite defender. Honestly, like I mean, you can go anywhere up the middle, and I think you'll be happy with what you're dealing with. So, is there someone from that One Knox back line that you'd be excited to have?
Yeah, kind of same deal where I earmarked 3 League One center backs, and I had Jordan Skelton. Frankly, somebody that I would have voted for as the defender of the year last season, and I think he's really replicated that level of performance. The way that he's evolved his game as One Knox has changed from a back three team into a club that runs a back four has been so impressive. Skelton was often the guy that sat in the middle and cleaned up danger last time. This year, he's a little bit more active, but still hyper efficient for a Knoxville team that, admittedly, in very few games has only allowed 8 goals. Like that's hugely impressive to see.
Yeah, if I was going to go with someone, I think I'd go Skelton. But Haugley has also been really good, like really
He's
good.
one of those weird players where he's played a little bit in the midfield, a little bit at center back. Like you don't know where to slot him in. I did want to shout out 2 more names out of League One here. One
Sure.
being Nick Spielman from the Charlotte Independents.
Hmm.
That's a team that I think we sleep on because they've tended to have a lot of star power in the midfield and the forward lines. Spielman has been there for years, constantly doing the job. Hasn't missed a minute yet this season. 75 clearances, like huge numbers. He fits more in the mold of that physical center back, that ball stopper, whereas David Garcia, who I think is the opposite side of the coin because he's so technical, so good with the ball at his feet, the way he initiates play from that right side for Spokane really defines a lot of what they do. I found it interesting. If you look at the velocity with Garcia on the pitch and without him on the pitch, they allow twice as many goals per game when he's not in the team. Like that's a real signifier of impact for me. So you really can't go wrong with any of these guys. But yeah, I wanted to get some shout outs there for the L1 killers.
On the League One side, I was leaning Garcia and Skelton myself. Those were the two that I had earmarked. So here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put down here Skelton, if I can spell his name right, / Garcia, and we can come back to it. And that way we have 2 center backs already kind of ready to go, and we can decide if we want to go 3 back, 4 back, whatever. Okay. So to figure out if we're going to go 3 or 4 back, what fullbacks are there any fullbacks that have stood out to you, left back or right back?
At the right back spot, and I know I'm already kind of breaking this because Rafa Menzingen is a weird fit in that he's very much an attack first wingback.
Yes.
But what he has done in that role with North Carolina FC has been pretty exceptional. Tons of dual wins, tons of ability to get over the top and really provide that team with a way to stretch opponents from the right sideline. You got 10 chances created, 21 shot attempts. John Bradford this season has often toyed around with his lineups and really mixed it up with the way that North Carolina wants to approach games. Menzingen has been the constant presence that's always challenging defenses, hyper consistent, continues to improve as a defender year over year as he gets more accustomed to that role. He's been incredible for me.
Menzingen, he kind of feels to me like a Bruno Radon role, where is he a midfielder? Is he a fullback? If we did a back 3, I'd have no question on having him in personally. That's where I am, but that's kind of one of those where are we kind of situations.
Sure.
For me, I find fullback to be a little bit underwhelming this year. I do have a shout for left back, which is Chris Gloucester. I think he's been class this year. I think he's been very good at playing left back for New Mexico United. He is one of their primary like mover of the balls, right? Like he is someone who gets a lot of touches. He does get into a few, like he's there defensively. He does a job. But for me, it's the way that he makes the attack flow and continues to move the ball and keep that possessive style that New Mexico wants. He feels like the key cog for that for me.
I would argue that Jalen Lindsay at right back has been better than Gloucester at left back, which obviously speaks to the fact that New Mexico is stacked from front to back. But yeah, Gloucester's a good shout. Left back is significantly stronger than right back, as I was kind of going through names. Like you think about what Kwame Awuah is doing with Loudon, Emmanuel Samadia, more of the wing back for Hartford. Even a Nathan Messer in Portland has been exceptional so far. Derek Waldeck in Spokane. I found it harder to pick out guys on the right, which is not useful for this exercise. Like it just makes it harder to pick. But yeah.
We got an Owen Dom shout in the chat.
I love that. I know Ewan is a Tulsa fanatic in terms of some of these guys, but Dom has been the real deal, like growing in a major way this season.
So
for left back, I was going to shout out Ricardo Ruiz as well for El Paso.
Yeah. I mean, lots of good players on the left side. I think the issue is coming down to this right-hand side on this. So
I mean, Aiden McFadden, a guy I love. He's played, granted, he's played on the left a little bit this season. And it's also the wing back problem. But yeah.
Yeah. Him and Dia kind of switch that left back role. I have a proposition.
Okay.
Let's just figure out the midfield and possibly strikers and then come back to the back line because I feel like that's an easier conversation.
I feel like we can sort out left back. I feel like we can come to a consensus here.
All right. Who is your proposed person? Are you going to stick with Minskin?
Oh, I was saying left back.
Oh, yeah. So sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Left back. Yeah.
I mean,
who do you got?
It's tough too because Gloucester's a great shout. For me, I think it is Derek Waldeck. I think what he has done supporting possession for Spokane has been incredible. He's putting up more than 5 recoveries a game, which is really indicative of his ability to collect knockdowns, get into the mix in second ball situations. His positioning is just flawless, both in terms of underlapping runs, how he interacts with Pierre Reedy, but that ability of knowing when to stay back and solidify the Spokane defense. He's not as flashy as someone like a Gloucester or an Awuah or a Samadia at the championship level, but man, he just feels solid for that team.
He's also someone who's not getting the assist numbers, but he is, if you're watching him, he's creating chances. That's the thing. It's like he's not getting the direct assist because, I mean, they don't really have people who are going to just get their heads on balls, right? But he's creating chances. He's creating opportunities. I'm with the Waldeck shout. For me, I would go Waldeck or Gloucester.
Okay, let's slot in Waldeck, and if we get really imbalanced, we can mix it up.
Got it. Let's do it.
I do want to shout out the comment here from Ben Clemens about Usl Landry, outside back extraordinaire. He is impossible for an exercise like this because he's played right back, left back, and center mid, basically similar amounts of minutes. Like you could put him at any of those spots and feel really good about it. What a player.
So what about right back? If we're going to have a left back, we got to have a right back.
Do you have other guys, Scalar? Like, who are you fighting for here?
That's the issue. Is I'm really not fighting for anybody to be my right back. I just got to be honest. Speaking of,
well, okay, if we're thinking,
speaking of Spokane, though,
yeah, well, if we're thinking, yeah, go ahead, please.
Siobhan John Brown's been awesome,
but he's playing right winger this year,
kinda.
But they're going heel or Opara at that,
yeah. Like Lucky Opara has, yes, like Lucky Opara has been there. There's also been Siobhan John Brown. I think Apara's been great too. Like they're both kind of the same person to me, like playing those roles because they do just kind of interchange so well. They're both just kind of left mid.
I think we can't give Spokane the goalkeeper, left back, and right back. How about that?
You are correct, but they're that good.
I don't disagree, but like if we're trying to be tactical about this, Waldeck is a player who is very comfortable sitting low when he needs to and taking on more of a defensive role. So if we've got Rafa as that high flying right back, you got a sense of balance.
I have another right back.
Please.
Keegan Tingy.
Oh, yeah. I love it. He's been awesome for Loudoun, and that team is significantly worse when he's off the pitch or when they're forced to play him at right back. Yeah, or rather as a center back instead of a right back. And I think the balance he gives them, given what they've got on the left side with Awuah and Abakora, is so underrated. I love that.
We go with Tingy?
Boom.
Bang. All right. So, oh gosh, is it EY? Is he an EY?
Tingey.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if he was an EY or just a Y. So we have hope in the midfield. So we do love a good number 6 on the show. We love to give credit to our central mids. So we have Usl Landry, who was arguably the best 6 in the league last year. I know it's not really the role he's played, but also kind of is the role he plays right now. Is there anybody competing with Aaron Malloy at the 6 right now?
It depends what you're looking for out of your 6. I have an awards article coming out this week on Backheeled where I'm kind of trying to make the argument that Boubacar Diallo is like the most underrated player in the USL for what he's doing with FC Tulsa. That team is very direct, or at least they started the year that way. And Giallo was unbelievable about claiming knockdowns, getting in the mix, battling. He's really been injury proof. Like he's only missed about 60 minutes all season long, winning more than 60% of his duels. And as this team has grown more possessive, he's done not Aaron Malloy play setting sort of things, but he's safe on the ball, very good about receiving on the turn and getting that edge on opponents. I think he's been an incredible player. And then if we're talking Malloy directly, has Mikey Maldonado been better at the Aaron Malloy thing than Aaron Malloy in 2025?
Good point.
Possibly.
Good point. So we're looking at Diallo, which, I mean, just to kind of talk about levels to this, right? He completely usurped a guy like Edwin Lasso, who was arguably Tulsa's best player last year, and he's doing it better than Lasso, right? That's the level of Diallo has been. I'm cool with that being the number 6 personally. I think that is, I would be more than happy for that to be our number 6.
Do we have League One shouts that we're feeling passionate about here?
He hasn't played I don't know how much the numbers are going to love him, but I can tell you with what I see every day, I still think that Omar Sis might be the best 6 in League One.
So going into this and doing prep and trying to pull numbers on some guys, I'm like, okay, great. Omar Sis is someone who I really want to argue for. And you just can't make a statistical argument that he should be in this team. Like his numbers are not impressive in almost any way. And yet you and I would watch him for that Independence team and be absolutely convinced that he's one of the best players in the league.
I think if you want to make statistical arguments, I think you could probably look at a Chris Heckenberg for Naples. When they were doing the 2 number 6s, he was the star. Now they've gone to a solo number 6, and he has been the guy. I think Heckenberg could be in that conversation, but for me, it's Sister Heckenberg.
If we want to do another League One person, I'd do Heckenberg.
Cool.
Okay, Heckenberg.
I also think it's important to get some League One guys in now because I'm going to have some nearly undeniable opinions about what's happening in the front line, those wing spots, just given some of the championship performances we've seen.
Absolutely. All right, so we have a number 6 and kind of an outside back with Hope. Kind of. He's been like that left central mid, so we're kind of
he's like an 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So who else do we have in that midfield? Who are we thinking?
I mean, we've not said Taylor Davila's name yet, which is a little bit crazy.
Yes.
Another player I wrote about today, frankly, but he's incredible, and he's done it this season in Louisville without a consistent partner. Like coming into the season, it was going to be Zach Duncan and Taylor Davila doing their thing in the midfield. When Duncan went down, it became, okay, is it going to be Usl Land, or what am I saying? Is it going to be Kavan Lambert? Is it going to be Ivan Davila? Lately, Carlos Mogul has been getting some minutes. Even despite those changes, Davila has still been unbelievable running the show for this team. Good about defensive stops and contributing in the press. Very clean on the ball with a perfect understanding of when he needs to play towards the box. You can't say enough about him in every phase of play, essentially. My dumb take, if we want to go for somebody who is more of like a number 10, really going to be advanced, is dipping back into the League One mix and saying Admir Spengler deserves the shout.
He's been so good too.
I'm a little bit biased because he is in unbelievable form right now. But Texoma hasn't scored a goal in USL play without Spengler on the pitch. That means something. Like, the guy has constant energy, unbelievable dribbling. He is the heart and soul of that team.
So
I know it's been tough since he's since moved up to Tampa Bay, but Luis Alvarez from his time at Charlotte was also worth a shout. But I could also see his Tampa Bay stint so far, her keeping him out of this team.
There's also been the shout of Mendence in the chat already. So there's that option as well. I'm just going to throw this out there because I got to be honest with you, John. I will fight for Taylor Davila in here. I will fight for that one. And it's something that you said last year, maybe, and it stuck with me, that we just see Taylor Davila make passes and we just kind of accept them to be normal when they're just disgusting.
I tweet this about every 2 months where it's like, Taylor Davila just did the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen on a soccer field. And we're like, oh, yeah, that's Taylor Davila, of course.
So last year when we did our mid-season, it was just championship. We did our mid-season. We did a 4-4-2 diamond.
Okay.
And we are finding in our space because I also think Spengler is a great shout. We might be looking at a similar situation. Do we have 2 wingers, right wing, left wing, that we really want? Okay.
I don't think that this team can exist without Abdelatif Abukora and Juan David Torres.
Yeah.
Like, I think at every level of the USL, those have been the best 2 players, bar none.
I completely agree.
And I feel bad for like snuffing it out because someone like a Connor Evans, what he's doing in Greenville has been unreal, even if he's moved to the 10 a little bit more recently. And then I know, injury aside, like Darwin Espinal would have been in the conversation for the left wing. But Torres and Abukora, that level of consistency, that's just something else.
I got it.
I'll echo the Abukora shout. And then, like you said, John, Darwin Espinal was the other one that kind of stuck out to me within League One. But like the turnaround that Loudon has had this year, if off the back of 11 goals in the league from Abukora, it's really tough to leave him out.
Y'all talk. I need to mute myself so I'm not like obnoxious with typing.
You love to see it. Yeah, I mean, Abukora, 14 goals in all competitions. It's a tight race between him and Juan David Torres for who is capable of the most moments of magic in a given game. Like, anytime they are on the ball, there's a chance that it's in the back of the net within 10 seconds. And you can't say that about really any other player in League One or the Championship. Torres in particular, he's taking about 15% more touches year over year within that Charleston system. I'm not going to say they're reliant on him because that would be silly to point out about any player within a Ben Pierman team. But they've let him really run the show this season in a way that has been unbelievable to watch. Like, he's a special player, and I hope he can get a move at some point if he desires that.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't going to be able to go up without a Juan David Torres or Abukora whatsoever. We weren't going to be able to do it. So we have one more spot on the pitch, and that is up top. There's a lot of people I think you could go with. So
do you want this to be a 7th championship player or a 5th League One player?
Personally, I don't really care. To be honest, like, we're trying to make the best team we can. To me, it doesn't completely matter. However, I think that he's fallen off because he's gotten hurt, but I want to have the conversation of Carson Linderloh. Even now, I still think he's been the signing of the offseason of any league. He's been that good, but the goal scoring's fallen off because he got hurt, and like Naples has been snuffed out a little bit, but he's that good.
This was a 2-man debate for me. Cal Jennings being the very obvious pick, given what he's doing for the Battery. He obviously leads the USL in goals amongst strikers, but Henderlong, 6 goals in his own right. And the finishing has been impressive, but it's kind of the everything else in his game that has been putting him over the top. Like Matt Poland and how he sets Naples up, wants that striker to be involved in the press. Henderlong is taking the ball away 0.9 times per game in the final third, which is kind of ridiculous for any striker to be doing. He's successful on the dribble at least once per game. Those are numbers that kind of betray how complete a player he is atop that system. I think it's tough when you are at mid-season and you come across a player like Henderlong that started so hot but has cooled down. And yes, there are injuries involved, but I think the level of performance at his peak has deserved the nod in this team.
Another League One shout would be Christian Chaney for Charlotte as well, 7 goals on the season.
Yeah, Christian Chaney just kind of does this every year where you just kind of say, oh, wow, he's doing another backflip. What is that, his 3rd goal? Oh, my God, it's 12, right? Like, you just kind of get shocked. So, yeah, J.J. Williams can't get healthy enough quick enough for Rhode Island. But I would go Linderloh, although you're going to be felt a little hard done by if you're Cal Jennings, which he clearly cares what we think. He's writing angry comments right now, but personally,
it is tough to lead out the Golden Boot leader for USL at the moment.
Well, I'll just double down, man. Cut the rat tail. That's what we need to get in this team.
Cut the rat tail, or finally kill a youngling. We got 2 options.
Yeah, right.
Are we gonna have a New York Yankees type of rule where there's just like no like certain appearances for like facial hair or like hair?
Can't have it. You can do anything but the rat tail. Everything else is fine. So are we good with Carson Linderloh?
Yeah, we do not grant Cal Jennings the rank of USL Show all-leaguer.
So we have our starting 11.
We also have not decided on right center back.
Oh, we have not. Oh, yikes. So Skelton Garcia. So let's have that conversation.
Skelton for parity? ? Since we're doubling on Spokane.
I'd take Skelton.
I think Skelton has been borderline better anyway, personally. So I think I'm definitely cool with that.
It's very different team context, which I think makes it a kind of an impossible debate. So I'm here for it.
Yes. All right. Skelton. I can't. Is it Jordan? Jordan?
Yes,
Yep.
Jordan.
Okay. It's like.
Who do you give the armband to?
Oh, good question. This is a young team.
This is a young team. Is Skelton our oldest?
Possibly.
Interesting. It's either that.
Heckenberg and Waldeck feel like my 2.
For your captain, I was going to go
28.
I was going to go Heckenberg. I always like a CDM with the captain armband. Personally, I just kind of like the vibe of
Davila,
it.
question mark?
Is Davila the captain for Lou City?
No, I think it's Shantosh. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm terrible with captaincy, so go with God
Sure.
on this one. Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling not Interlong. That'd be crazy. Heckenberg.
Perfect.
Let's
Okay.
go with Heckenberg.
He gets the C. All right.
Somebody's gonna see this without context on Twitter and be like, "What's wrong with these guys?"
And then it's perfect because I can just tag the link in this and it get absolutely bombed because Twitter hates links. So let's kind of look at it. So we went with a 4-3-3, and from the back we have Marnicio Valdez in goalkeeper. Going from left to right, a left back, Derek Waldeck, left center back, Lamar Batista, right center back, Jordan Skelton. Those really don't matter. They're interchangeable. Keegan Tingy at right back. And the base of our midfield, Chris Heckenberg. I always mess up his name. Hope Avievu on that left center mid. Right center mid is Taylor Davila. Left wing, Abdelatif Abukara, right wing, Juan David Torres, and up top, Carson Hinderlong. So, is there any last minute changes we want to make to this that you want to fight for before we kind of call it a day?
I think every player here except Tingy, which was a great shout, was on my list. So happy with it.
Who would have been on your right back list, by the way?
I had Rafa, Aiden McFadden, and Joshua Ramos from Chattanooga, who I think has been kind of unreal. And what a surprise, too. Like, I never saw him coming.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. So we don't do a bench here. We haven't done it before. We just kind of stick it here. Of those people, is there someone that you feel like, yeah, listen to me butcher names, you should really listen to the Semi-Pro USL show because it's sad. It is horrific. It is bad. Do you know how long it took me to pronounce the word chupacabra the first time I saw it? Scared the crap out of me. So is there an honorable mention that we'll mention here, but they won't get to make the graphic?
Oh, boy. This is a great question. I mean, for me, it is Spengler because the guy is just fun and energy. Like, that's my one.
Yeah, I think honestly I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think that you are going to have conversations. Someone's going to probably mention a Malloy, a Landry. I think deserves a shout. You deserve more Lou City recognition besides just Taylor Davila, but also Lou City is kind of a constant third team all USL team where everybody on there is just one of the best, but not always the best. That's just kind of been their thing for a long time now. Not having a Pittsburgh Riverhound in the back line felt weird, but also they're kind of a system, not really, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, how many times can Bob Lilly just plug in a random college kid and turn him into a good contributor before it's like, that's just the system?
It's fair. Totally fair point. All right. Well, that is our lineup. That is that. Very excited to post that. And then people just say, what's wrong with you? You're stupid. So I will go ahead and download that and we'll talk and we'll post it tomorrow morning.